Hey guys, and welcome back to some more C10 content. We took the truck to its first event and we got our list of to-dos. Today we're going to be working on the brakes with China parts. We're taking this truck into town for a cruise in with the Poplar Bluff Parks and Recreation. Got one blown wheel cylinder and I think the combination valve locked me over, so I'm just running on front brakes and it's mostly full of hydraulic fluid. So I think we're going to be all right all the way up to the scene of the crime. So all in all, we got there and back with minimal problems, and I say minimal because there were problems. I always say if you want to know, the next project to do on your truck or car, just drive it. It'll tell you. There'll be stuff that breaks or things that you need to fix. And this one was screaming at us the whole time. As you can see there, in the master cylinder, I'm at the minimum on the back. I guess that's the front. And then on the back chamber, it just doesn't have any fluid. Well, didn't I check that before I left? Of course I did not. It was full of that dark black liquid, just like my soul. But like I say, the things will start screaming at you, and this one did. The first thing I noticed when I pulled out was she's peeing, and what that tells me is my wheel cylinder is bad, which I already figured that was going to happen. I just had to figure out which 12 bolt this thing had so I could order the right cylinders for it. I think I got it. If I don't, those are the ones that are going to work on it. Also, one cool thing about these old trucks is they have what's called a combination valve. Now what that does is it isolates your front and rear circuits, and there's a little light in your dash that says brake. Two ways this light can illuminate. One is if you depress the parking brake lever. If yours is working, there's a little grounded switch in there that'll ground and turn the light on. The other way is if your little shuttle valve on the combination valve senses there's a leak in the rear circuit, and it just slides over and locks off the rear circuit, so you still have at least your front brakes, and that's a safety feature. Also, there's a switch in that little port there that will illuminate the light on the dash. As soon as we pulled out of the driveway, I got that. That's the little light right here. I don't have that. Radio's on. That's the light, the little red brake light that illuminates right here. I don't have it on now because sometimes if you have just enough fluid, you can just jam on that and it'll reset itself. Something about resetting the shuttle valve. Miraculously, with minimal fluid and tons of air in the front brake lines, I was still able to haul this old girl down to a stop to get us into town and back. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through this braking system. We're going to be towing trailers and doing things. So I want to get some awesome performance parts that are the cheapest I can possibly find on Amazon, and we're going to throw these in here. So for the rear, we're going to put new wheel cylinders in. I've already looked at the shoes and they have a decent amount of life left, so we're going to clean all that up. I'm going to add the parking brake cable because I like to be able to lock things down. I know a lot of you guys cut them, and then I have to go through the effort of putting the cable back in. Thanks for that. So we're going to add that cable back in, hopefully connect right back into the parking brake system and make that function. And we're going to give it new fluid because this is dark black and horrible, and there's air in the lines and things. So I'm going to take all the fluid out of this, put new fluid in, suck it through to the back. Not myself, but I'm going to use a tool. Suck that through to the back and make sure we got fresh fluid back there and that the rear circuit operates correctly. And then we'll move to the front. In the front, I've got new calipers, new hoses, and new pads. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to break everything loose, suck the old fluid out, put fresh fluid in there, and get it all the way out to the calipers so that we can actually stop. Got the rear wheel off, just in case we're wondering if that was what it was. It was. It definitely popped that wheel cylinder. There's fluid all in back here. I'm all about saving a buck or two. These shoes from the side, they look like they've got just enough life left, but you can see that the paint and everything is just wearing off of them. This has been leaking for a minute, probably well before I got this vehicle, and you can see that it's taken the shoe and just degraded the lining on there, and it's just done. I could probably run this and make it work for a couple days or so, maybe a couple weeks, or all the way up to the scene of the accident, but I'm not going to do that when I can just run to town and get me some shoes. So I got some cheap ones from O'Reilly's. We're going to get those put on. Get it in the hole. Oh yeah. What is that? Parking brake cable. No way. All right. Chinese finger puzzle is done. Just remember, your brakes will be the best when you use Brake Best. Anyways, I pulled all this stuff off here, wiped it or sprayed it all down with brake clean. Replaced all the springs. I did get a new hardware kit. You don't have to do that. I just do it because I'm me. Everything's kind of cleaned up, greased up, moving around good. But one thing I wanted to say is these drums are a little wavy and, you know, they've got some wear to them. But I'm cheap. I'm not buying new ones. This is what we're going to use. I probably should replace this just for reasons. But I got new pads, so that makes it almost as good. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to give it a little bit of onion juice and just kind of adjust that out just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then we're going to put the drum on. And even that's not enough. I'm going to have to keep on adjusting it. What you want is when this drum goes on, it's just like you can barely get it on there. And that means that the shoes are out far enough that when you do hit your pedal, it's going to go right on there and give you some good force on there. If you don't adjust these and your adjusters are all jacked up, you know, you might get all the way down on the bottom of the pedal and then it kind of starts to touch back here. But this is how you adjust your brakes, guys. So I'm going to get mine adjusted and get this back on. Kind of pushed through real quick on putting the rear brakes together. It just needed to replace the wheel cylinders, but I was pressed for time because today I had to take the truck into the glass shop to get the windshield replaced. I had made that appointment weeks ago, and this was the only time you could get me in. So we went with rear brakes, all right, mostly Bled, and the front brakes just so that was fun. But, you know, shakedown runs, you always figure out some more things to fix. I've got my list steadily growing, but we're going to keep moving on with the brake install. As I could see today when I was driving it, there is like nothing happening in the front. It's a suggestion to stop, and they're just like, nah, like a little teenager that doesn't really want to do what you tell it. So we're going to get these Chinese parts installed, and hopefully it'll stop. I tried spraying the PB Blast and all kinds of penetrating fluid on these brake hoses to get them to start to kind of want to loosen up. But this is why I hate brakes. Brakes is my least favorite thing to do. And this is why. Even with the crow's feet, line wrenches, regular line wrenches, a little bit of heat, all the tricks that I use, there's always one brake fitting that does this. I hate it. Normally I just cut it all out and put new stuff in there just so I know that I can actually get this crap apart. It looks like, if you get really close in here and really close to the threads, somebody had damaged the threads already or put it together and damaged a thread or something. They're locked together. One, the tube nut is all wonky shaped and just, well, you know, we're not using that anymore. But anyways, to fix that, the easiest thing for me was to take the nut off. Well, this goes through the frame and there's like a 15/16 wrench sized nut on the back of this that kind of sucks that into the frame and locks it down, if you will. Got the 15/16 wrench on there and got that nut started off, and then I got it off with my fingers. And then I went over to the proportioning valve, combination valve, whatever you guys kids call them these days, and disconnected that line. And then I just kind of bent that thing and pulled this whole assembly out, brought it over here to the bed so I can work on it, and just cut the end off as close as I could to this. And then I got some of my junk pile out there, found me a piece of same size tubing and the right size tube nut, and I flared it twice. Why twice? Well, the first time I flared it, I didn't have the tube nut on there. Make sure you got your nuts where they need to be. So I got that flared and kind of sitting in here, and I'm going to tighten that back up. Conveniently enough for me, when I left that loose, it got all the fluid on the floor, which is perfect because my master cylinder is full of, I don't know what that is. I needed to drain all that crap out anyways, so I can clean it. Oh yeah, most of that's water. That's what's supposed to be in brake fluid, right? I don't know. I clean that out, so you know, two birds in one fist. And I'm gonna go get this other, don't step in that. Let me get this other line back in here, clean up some of the brake fluid and get that brake hose on. I'm gonna get these calipers out. Pretty simple, 2 slide pins, and then we can set the new one in place. caliper, load the pads in it. Well, think whatever you think. The driver's side I had soaked it 4 or 5 times over the last few days, and I got my crow's foot on there and it popped, and I thought I rounded that thing and it scared the poop out of me. Looked at it and it popped first try, which is great because there's a whole lot of stuff over on this. Not a lot of room for a guy with meaty hands to try to get in here and do stuff, but you know, I'm still getting in here and doing stuff. I was able to push that brake line down past the frame down there, and I can get right on that nut that holds the brake hose in there, which is a 24 millimeter for the Chinese stuff at least. And I was able to get a socket on there and just spin that little guy out, drop the old hose off and put the new hose on. Then I'm going to hook that guy up over here, the hard line back into the hose. Then I come out on this side and work on this side. But I figure while I do that, I can crack both bleeders and put some fluid in there and let it start gravity bleeding. So I'm going to start doing that, get that tightened up, and bring it back in. There she is, got her all tightened up. This little guy, I don't think I covered this when I did these drop spindles, but the clear on a drop spindle, because of where this caliper lifts up a little bit, you just have to put a small bend in this little guy. I think I bent it that way a couple degrees and then down a little bit so that it's not hitting the bottom of the spindle here, and basically so I have clearance. I cycled it through both side, left and right, just to make sure nothing rubs, and I've done this on both trucks now, on the boys' truck too, and I kind of know where to eyeball it so it's not going to hit anything, but it just takes a little bit with the vice grips. You can just barely snip them on there, not enough to be tight, just to, you know, give you something to push against, and then just twist it around this way and just a little bit like a so, and you're fine. Some guys just say that you can't do drop spindles because your brake hose is hit. Well, you know, it's metal. So we got all this put back together. Now I'm going to go find my offspring so that I can get these bled, and hopefully everything works. Gross. Found him. He's got his Mega Man brake pedal adapter boot on, so I don't know if that's going to work. He's got a boot, what I'm trying to say. So we're going to work ourselves through this and get the Blake spread, and hopefully we'll have a brake pedal again. See if we can get this going. All right, pump it up.
Holding.
Okay. Okay. 5. Ew, bubbly. One more again. These.
Cinco. Holding.
There we go. Okay. Nope, more bubbles. One more again. All right, high speed. Pump the pedal with your Mega Man boot. How's that feel now that we got all the air out?
Super stiff.
Super stiff. That's what we're going for. So fun fact when you're doing this, if you don't have your drums on or you don't have the calipers bolted up, you cannot bleed your brakes. You listening?
Yeah.
If you don't have it hooked up, you can't bleed your brakes. Why is that?
Because then piston will go flying out.
Right. So the only thing holding those hydraulic cylinders, if you will, is the force from what's what you're braking against, right? From the drum in the back and the shoe, or the brake pad in the front against the caliper piston. And we know this because I had a truck that was similar to this. Had the rear discs on the back. I didn't have the bed on. I was taking it for a drive. The caliper mounting bolt on the back, I think it was passenger side, came out. So there's two bolts that hold the caliper like this. One of them came out and the caliper went bink over just enough. And I was hearing a noise and I didn't know what it was. And I was at a stoplight. The exhaust is loud. I was trying to figure out what was happening. Well, that caliper was rubbing against the inside of the tire and doing this. When I stopped, it was able to fall down just enough that the pad fell over. And I went to hit the brakes and it went bang! Big old loud like suction pop sound, right? And it shot the piston out just enough that it caught it on the other side with the brake pad that was still in there. But the guy next to me at the stoplight looked over and he's like, hey, something exploded back there. Oh, so I looked back and I could see it and fluid just pouring out. But why was I able to make it home? You should know this one by now after what we've done this week. What safety feature tripped?
Yeah.
The combination valve?
Yeah.
You're right. Combination valve, this little guy right here, you can see it. Tripped its circuit, flipped over, and it locked out the rear brakes, and I got home on the fronts. So if you guys are deleting those things, don't. That might get you home one day. So we had issues, figured out what they were, and we fixed them. Me and the bionic man over here, knocking stuff out.
Yeah.
Ooh, you can pump this up. We're kids like little Nike shoes. And blow his foot up. Anywho, that's all we got for this video. As you can probably tell, things in the shop escalate quickly. We're already working on next week's video, and we got some crazy other things that we got to fix. So hang in there. We got more stuff coming your way, and we will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to do that like and subscribe thing, and tell your friends to come check it out. See you on the next one.
Goodbye.